This is a little project. It is for myself. It's for the lathe. It's a really good condition prep burner. It's an 8-inch top jaws. One slight problem. There's no backing plate, which, happens. You can get them. But what was missing on it was the scroll. I guess they call it a scroll keeper, or whatever, the plate that goes in here and holds the scroll up against the front of the chuck. So I went off and come up with a solution. Made up a pattern and had this cast. Actually had two of them cast. If anybody out there is looking for one, I'd probably be willing to part with it. Just wanted to make sure I could get one good one out of the pattern, so I made two. And so now I'm going to start qualifying it and getting that fitted. So the first thing I really wanted to do was just get this outside diameter round. I really want to make sure everything is qualified off of this face here, which goes up against the scroll, and then the inside diameter here, which goes over, I guess I would call it the hub of the chuck. So I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to qualify this surface and this inner diameter, and then once I'm happy with everything relative to those two datums, then I'll flip it back around, probably hold it on the inside diameter, and then just turn this so it'll fit inside the chuck and face it. So with this spun around now and held on that just rough qualified diameter there, one of the things that I want to do is make sure that I'm taking the least amount of material off as I qualify this surface here and this inside diameter. So it is a casting, and that is, well, let's zero it. So if we call that tab 0, that's about -4, and that's about -3. Yeah. So coming out of or for a casting, that's pretty close. So I'm just gonna swipe that face, get that face straight, and then start verifying what I actually need when I'm finished machined. So this diameter here is 3" 3/12. I measured this face here down to the scroll 3 places, and that's running, call it 685. So I've got the plate chucked up, and I've skim cut this surface here, and then actually, as I was starting to face off the inside here, I realized as I was doing that I need a through hole in there, so there's no real sense in doing any machining in there until I punch this hole through the plate. So that's what I'm going to do next. Yeah, I'm going to have to get something else to measure that. So I've checked online for the Pratt burner dimensions for the chuck, and actually, as cast here, this dimension between this face here and the back is within about 10 thou. So, I mean, it has to be a minimum gap in there. So when you put the back plate on, you have room in there. So that's really good. Basically, I'm going to turn around and I'm just going to clean it up, and then this surface to here in the actual chuck is 0.685. So I'm going to leave 10 thou of clearance in there. I'm not 100% sure on that clearance, but I really haven't decided on 5 or 10 thou clearance on that face there. So I think I'll start out at I think I'm going to start out with 5 thou clearance actually. So I'm going to go 70 thou off of this face here, and then when I turn it over, I'm going to use this bore, this face, and I'll take the back parallel to all of that and the diameter, so those two at the same time. And then I could always if I got an issue with this face here, I could always put it on the surface grinder and take another 5 thou off of there, whatever I need there. So 5 thou seems to be what's rattling around in my head right now. So I wanted to grab this inside bore here and get the OD and this back face trued up to this bore and this, right? Because these two are parallel. That's the right depth. This diameter is good. So all this is good. So I got lucky. I won't claim. I mean, I copied what I thought was the right plate, and this opening here is actually just wide enough to fit over top of the jaws. So when I clamp it in this orientation, I can grab this qualified bore. My only issue was I got a little step in here, which I guess I could have got rid of by machining that out, but I got a little bit of a I took it as a challenge, and I got a little bit of a trick here. I just got some small magnets, and for two reasons. One, the thickness was just right. I can't have too thick of a spacer in there, otherwise I won't be able to grip the bore. And I wanted something that I wasn't fumbling with, so a magnet holds there, and those 3 magnets are within, probably about 1 thou on the 3 of them, which is going to be plenty good enough for this surface here to be cleaned up. So I just got that turned down, so I've got a round surface on there now, and that is about 53 thou over. So I got to take half that off. I'm shooting for 6280 is the ID of the chuck. So I think I want probably just come under that just a couple of thou. So let's call it 55 thou. We're looking to take off total. Well, we should be within, it should have been 50 off of that, so we should be within about 5 thou here, which means we should be 6285. Which is what we are. Last pass. Now, I just want to verify this depth here, just to make sure. So we should have about 2.5, 3 thou clearance there. So another thing I did off camera there is I just put a little lead in chamfer on this edge here, which is on the way in, and I have not yet tried this. I'm just going to take, I think I got a 1 thou shim. I'm just going to put it in here in this this point of contact here on that flange. I think it's there. Yeah, that's tight, so we're home. Next is just the 3 holes. I just got to do a little work to make sure I got those things lined up. Counterbores. I'm going to double check this height here. That seems just a touch shy, meaning it's too proud at this point. I'm gonna have to wait till I get the backing plate before I do anything here, because if I gotta skim this, I'll do that before I put these holes in. So I've got this face finished here, and then using the center diameter here and doing the calculations from the geometry help books, which when you have 3 divisions, so 3 holes, and it gives you the formula for measuring across 2 of the holes, get the chord length, and then you can figure out the diameter. And then I just got a reference mark here for that diameter for the 3 counterbores for the fasteners. Yeah, you can see it there. So anyways, I was going to use the chuck because it's divided into it's divided by 3 with it being a 3-jaw chuck. The problem is, and I'm glad I caught myself, I need the holes to be centered between the openings for the bevel gear. So I'm just going to get it set up somehow on my little rotary table, and just, I mean, it's only a bolt hole clearance. I'm just going to pick up the center of that and swing it around 3 times at 120 degrees. So I had a bit of a aha moment as I was pondering how to get this thing set up on I don't have my mill running yet, so I've got a big rotary table for the Bridgeport, but that would be a fair amount of work, and to get something to work on my little tiny rotary table, that would be a fair amount of work. And I thought, well, I did all the calculations, I've got the cord length, so I'm just going to lay this out. And like I said, I want to be somewhere in the middle of these two here. I'm going to figure out how I'm going to actually know where the center of that is. I want that right in the center. So I was just using the scale across here, and that was 2" 200. So ended up I got a mark here at 1" 100 across the center of that. So that'll be my starting point right there. And because I've got the diameter picked up, that's going to be pretty simple, right? I'm just going to take the cord length, which is 2" 484. And it should be the same thing on this side. And I'm going to snap this one here. If I can see it. And I'm going to cross this one here. And that looks like that's working out. I missed a mark on that one. Looks like we should be good there. And so here comes the moment of truth. Got the 3 holes in there. They should be aligned. They should be. They should be. They should be. So far, so good. Yep. That's a little tighter than I want. And that's a little tighter than I want. Yeah, I'm going to have to open up that counter bar a little bit more. I mean, it's just the critical feature is to hold the scroll down and seal this backside up, but I do want it to fit better than that. I don't want to have to force that in. So I just went up to the next size on the counter bore here and just tickled those just a little bit. That's all I needed. And again, I'm pretty sure the sole purpose of this is to clamp that scroll, which it will do now. So I'm pretty happy with that. And I've got the right relief in there now. So all that's left, and I probably won't film it, all that's left is just to get a back plate for this thing here. In its previous life, it was used, I think, on a rotary table or as a stationary chuck or something. And these holes were for a plate that was on the back, which shouldn't interfere. This surface is good and solid here at this point, so just got to get the right chuck or back plate. Yeah, it's going to be a nice addition. 8-inch with the top jaws. That's going to work really well.